A very warm and hearty good day to all of you. My name is Ramanpreet Kaur Bhatia. I'm a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, a certified practicing accountant from CPA Australia, and a distinguished Toastmaster from Toastmasters International. In this video, I'm going to talk about the second step of internal analysis, and that second step is the performance assessment. In our first step, in our last video, we tried to have an understanding of the first step of internal analysis, which was an understanding of key stakeholders and their needs in an organization. Why? Because we need to set our future strategic goals. Today, we'll be talking about the second step, and we'll be trying and analyzing a framework of performance assessment. I hope you all will find some value in this present video. So let's start. What is performance and how do we measure our current performance? Our current performance is measured against organizational goals, against comparable organizations such as our competitors, and against the industry averages. What do we need for that? We need data, of course. We need qualitative data. We need quantitative data. We need to understand strategic drivers. We need to understand operational drivers. We need to understand people and organizational drivers. What are these drivers actually? As an organization, I need to analyze my achievements. I need to analyze the challenges which are lying ahead of me to create that case and need for change. Unless I know where I am today, unless I know what is my performance right now, what is my position right now as compared to my competitors as well as to the industry averages, I will not move forward. I will not make an effort for changing. So if I want to change, if I want to meet my future goals, I need to understand what is it that I'm doing right now. What is my performance right now? How will I get to know that? I will get to know that through data. So for that, an organization needs to collect, understand, and analyze the data relating to the strategic drivers. What is strategic drivers? Strategic driver is what differentiates us from our competitors. Who am I? Who am I as compared to me as an X? How is X different from Y? That is my strategic driver. What is it that I do which differentiates me from my competitors? Who am I? That is my strategic driver. Data about operational drivers. What are the core activities which the team has done well? Right? What is it that I must do well so that I can have an edge over my competitors? The last one we'll be talking about is people and organizational drivers. That is, we all understand that who is the most important asset for an organization. Is it only resources? No, it is the people who use those resources to fulfill the objectives. So the third one that we'll be talking about is the people and organizational drivers. How do we encourage, how do we motivate and fulfill the needs of our people? So when we talk about current performance assessment, we need to understand three things, which is the strategic drivers, operational drivers, and people and organizational drivers. So this is our framework for the assessment of our current performance. Strategic drivers, first one, strategic driver, it is something which differentiates us from our competitors. What is it that I have? What is that unique quality which I have, which differentiates me from my competitors? Now, when I understand what is my unique quality, which makes me different from my competitors, how do I use this quality? What is it that I do? What are the activities that I do which differentiates me from my competitors? To understand this on a human level, say I am an organization and I produce a unique product that differentiates me from my competitors. I use different techniques to sell my products. I have better logistics, I have better distribution, I have better sales and marketing, I have better after sales services, right? The operations, the activities that I do well, that differentiates me from my competitors. So that is strategic driver and operational driver. The last one is people and organization drivers. As an organization, me as board of director, me as CEO of the company, me as founder of the company, maybe I cannot work alone, right? I cannot do all the performance on my own. I need people. I need people who have the minds, who have the hearts, who are not machines. I have to deal with the humans. How well do I encourage or motivate my staff, my employees, people who work for me? They will drive my performance. If my employees are happy, if my employees are content, if my employees feel encouraged, they will do well. My performance will be good. And if my employees are unhappy, the performance of the entire organization will crash down. So, the three parameters of assessing the current performance: strategic drivers, what differentiates me from my competitors; operational drivers, what are the core activities we must do well; and last but not the least, people and organizational drivers, how do we encourage, motivate, and fulfill the needs of our people, right? Three parameters for assessment of current performance. Driver, something which is driving me, something which is pushing me forward. Strategic driver, my identity; operational driver, what are the activities that I must do well; people and organizational drivers, people who will be doing the actual performance for my organization. So that sets the current performance. In this video, I'll be talking mainly about strategic drivers, right? What are strategic drivers? If we can just recall, what differentiates us from our competitors. So what differentiates us? How will we recognize that? Unless we know what is the place in which I'm competing, that is industry and market. People who are actually buying my products and services, who are my customers. The products and services that I am making, I am not making something similar to what Y is making. I am not making something similar which Z is making. I am making something which me as X is producing, which is unique, which is why the customers are coming to me. So that is a strategic driver for me. Channels. What is it that I have? How am I distributing my goods? What are my logistics? What is my sales and marketing technique? That is channels. And what is the competitive advantage that I have? We'll study more of these things in detail. Again, just recall our statement that strategic drivers are those drivers what differentiates us from our competitors. So they are central to organizational performance. There are 5 kinds of strategic drivers: industry and market, customers, products and services, channels, and competitive advantage. Now, the first driver, the strategic driver, which we are going to understand is industry and market. We have to understand organization's position relative to its industry and market in which it has a presence. For example, if I say that a product is sold internationally in the markets of, say, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, then what is the market I'm considering? I'm considering a big market as a whole, Australia as a whole, New Zealand as a whole, Singapore as a whole, Thailand as a whole. What is my market? I am selling in Australia. I'll be talking about the Australian markets. Now, just break this down. If I say that I am selling in New South Wales or I am selling in Queensland, then what is my market? For that product, I am not talking about Australia now. I know Australia is my bigger market. I'm not talking about New Zealand. Not talking about I'm not talking about Singapore. I'm not talking about Thailand. I'm talking about Australia. Further down, I'm talking about New South Wales. I'm talking about Queensland as my market. So for my analysis, it would be New South Wales because now from general, I'm going to get specific. Again, break it down. If I talk about my market for a specific product, for example, if I say I am manufacturer of coffee, but what actually do I produce? I produce ground coffee or I produce coffee beans. So coffee is the broader section. I have just broken it down to ground coffee, coffee beans. I say in a broader market, I'm dealing in coffee. But on a smaller side, to be more specific, I will say I'm dealing in ground coffee or say I'm dealing in coffee beans and so on. Right. So what would be my market? My market would be ground coffee because here I'm talking about specific product. Another example could be say of clothing. Say I deal in clothings. Um, um, I sell clothings. Now I would say clothings. Okay, clothing is a broader market. What exactly do you sell in clothes? Do you sell summer clothes? Do you sell winter clothes? Do you sell spring clothes? I'll say I sell winter clothes. I'm talking about there are some countries where there are no winters. For example, Singapore, no winters, right? So, is there a market for winter clothing in that place? No. There is a separate market for winter clothing. Again, if I go in detail, I would say in terms of summer clothing, there is a market for, say, cotton clothes, or there is a market for linen clothes, and so on. So I have to, when I say that I have to assess my performance in terms of industry and market, first of all, I have to understand what is my industry, what is my market, where am I dealing in? Am I talking about the larger one? Am I talking about the general one? Then I'll take that. If I say Australia, if I say no, I am dealing in Australia, but I'm dealing in specific parts of New South Wales, or I'm selling in Victoria, right? So my market size would be New South Wales, or my market would be Victoria. If I talk about product, if I say again, I'll take the example. If I'm talking about coffee, I deal in coffee market. No, but yes, coffee market is okay, but specifically I deal in ground coffee market. So I'll be analyzing the trends. I'll be analyzing my position in the ground coffee market, right? So what this strategic driver of industry and market tells us, who am I? What is my position relative to but the industry and market in which I have a presence? Right? What is the industry? What is the market that I'm dealing in? What differentiates me from my customers? Say competitors. Right? So that is the first strategic driver for us. My second strategic driver is the customer. It is important to understand the different types of customers to whom an organization's products or services are sold or provided or are catered for. We learned the concept of value proposition in the very beginning of our course, which was in module 1. Each and every customer may have different needs. For example, if we talk about food requirements, there is a classification based on kids' food, the teenagers' food, the adult foods, or foods for the aging people. Similarly, there is a distinction in clothing needs for different kinds of customers. It could be based on anything, right? It could be based on age, it could be based on the place where you live, the need for clothing for people. It could be, it could be based on the place where they live. It could be based on the professions that my customers are engaged in. There could be a different need for clothing for people who are involved in, say, creative business, right? Professional services, they require proper formal clothes. People who are in creative business, they require casual clothing. So what do I need to do as an organization? My strategic driver for customer would be to understand the value proposition, to understand the needs that each and every customer has, and the specific value proposition of different types of customers. Customers are generally responsible, or we won't say generally, wholly responsible for the generation of our profits. So it's important to collect data about them, analyze that data, so that we have a correct understanding of the different trends which are going on, the profitability of being engaged in that kind of product or service. At the same time, a better understanding of customer related issues, so that we can target those specific areas for growth and can improve our performance. So understand where your customer is coming from, understand the needs of that customer, understand if the product or service which I'm providing is giving them value proposition or not. Check the trends, check the profitability, check the issues, check the specific requirements of different customers, right? Because that is what differentiates us from our competitors. So that is our strategic driver, which is customer. Our next strategic driver for performance assessment is products and services. Of course, products and services are often looked at in conjunction with the markets, with the customers, as these are closely interrelated and linked. It extends to answer the question, what business are we in? If I am a seller, what is the product that I am dealing in? What is the product or service that the organization offers, and how those products and services are performing? Maybe me as an organization, I'm producing some product, or maybe I'm producing some product, say for example, clothing, right? I'm selling clothing, I'm selling appliances. But me as a service provider, I am a chartered accountant, I am giving my services as a CPA. Say I am in the health industry, I'm providing my services as a doctor, right? So those are the services that I'm providing. And maybe I'm not dealing in services, I'm dealing only in products. So those products, those services that I'm providing differentiates me from my competitors. And I have to check my performance, I have to analyze my performance based on what products and services that I'm providing. So it is the set of activities, set of products, set of services that I offer to my customers. Once I understand that, that understanding drives my performance. Right, so those are the products and services. Here in this slide, I've just given the example of some industries, some markets, who are their potential customers, and what are the products and services that these organizations are engaged. Right, so we have to understand what products and services we are selling. Now, this brings us to a very important topic for analyzing a performance, which is the BCG product matrix. What is BCG product matrix? It is the Boston Consulting Group matrix, which serves as a useful tool for what? For assessing the organization's products in terms of market growth and its market share. Any product doing good, maybe I'm able to achieve a good market share. Is the product profitable for me? Is this product able to contribute to my firm's success, increase my sales? How do we assess that? That assessment is done through the BCG matrix. What exactly this matrix does? It shows us the ways that the products that are either core to the organization or through the market, or are whether they are well positioned for growth or not. How do I check that? I check that with respect to market growth as well as market share, because each product which I want to see, for each product I want to see if my market is growing. Okay, right now my market is growing, but is my share of the product increasing or decreasing? For example, if I deal in clothing, right? Say a specific category of clothing. Say I'm talking about kids clothing. Is that market growing? Will that market grow in future also? Okay, market is growing. I'm a market is growing, but will I be able to get a major portion of market share? How am I positioned with respect to growth in the market? Because I know market will grow in future, but then there are competitors coming. Even though the market is growing, my share of market growth is decreasing. So how should I place that product? Should I deal in that product or not? All this is decided by this BCG matrix. Market share or market growth is used as an indicator for market attractiveness. If the market is growing, my capacity for success is definitely high. Right? Market share indicates the amount of market being serviced by the organization or by the business unit. It also takes into account the competitive advantage. It takes into account the control over the market. So how do we categorize our products? We categorize our products in the 4 quadrants. The first one we'll talk about is star. We know star product, right? The stars are the products and services with large market share. As the market is also growing, industry is also growing, the products are attractive definitely, so my earnings are stable, and I should be investing more and more in these kind of products. As simple as that. Market share is growing, market growth is also good, the products will give me good earnings, I should invest there. The next one is cash cow. What is happening in cash cow? We are starting from the left hand side of the matrix. The cash cows are the products and services with large market share, but the market growth is less. Market is not growing. I have a bigger share on that market. Now, since I have a bigger share, I am the majority, I am the monopoly player in that market. I don't need to invest more. I'm already earning profit. My market share is more, but the market growth is less. No more competitors are coming. I am in very good position. I need not to invest more. Right? But at some point in time, I also know that the market will become stagnant. Although I have a larger market share, but that in market share might become stagnant at some point. So what should I do? My strategy should be to take advantage, to milk as much as possible. That is the cash cow products for me. Now we come to the next side of the matrix. The first quadrant shows the product which are the big question marks. What do you mean by question mark? Question mark is something on which I'm not sure about. The market is rising, but my market share is not growing. Market is increasing, market is progressing, but I have a very small market share. Should I invest? I should see the potential. I have to make a business plan. I have to make a business study. Maybe I don't have the capabilities. Maybe I don't have the strength. Maybe I don't have the resources. Maybe the other players are bigger than me. On the other hand, it might be possible that if I put in just a little bit of more effort, I might be able to reap good profits in this growing market. But for that, I have to make an analysis. I have to see the situation. And accordingly only I'll be making my strategy. Of course, these products will consume more cash. So I have to be careful in this situation. I have to analyze the potential. My earnings will not be that high, right? So this quadrant gives us the question mark products. Then comes the dogs. They are the worst kind of products. Market share is also low. Market growth rate is also low. And I have a very small share. It's not profitable for me. What should I do in this case? I should take out my funds from the market. I should not be concentrating on these type of products. The offerings are unattractive due to their low market share, low potential for growth. So I should take out the money from them. So this is the whole BCG matrix for us. We have to understand how to place our products. What are the kinds of products and services that my organization deals in? What is the present status of those products? What is the present positioning of those products? I have to analyze my performance based on this, and accordingly, I'll make my strategy. Right? So this was our strategic driver, which was the product and services. Now we come to our next strategic driver, which is the channel. We know what is channel. The channels are the methods by which an organization distributes its products, which the services being provided to the customers. It could be through physical stores. The organization might be owning those stores, or those stores are taken on rent. Or maybe it's an online store. I do not want a physical store. I just want to sell my products online. Maybe I can give franchise of my products to another organization, or maybe I can hire export agents, right? So what are channels? How I distribute my products or services? Why is it a strategic driver? Because it plays a very important role in determining how my product reaches the final customer. Maybe I can make a very high quality product. Maybe I produce in large quantities, but what if I'm not able to present that good quality product to my ultimate consumers? I will not be getting any profits. My market share would be low because my product is not visible. My product is not reaching the end customer. So that is why channel is very important, because it's the method in which we distribute our products, the way in which we take effort so that our product reaches the end consumer. This whole thing plays a very important role, and that's why we call this as strategic driver. It helps to identify the potential loss or profitable areas. If we analyze the data deeply for channels, um, we understand that what is the area in which, the specific area in which I am incurring a potential loss, or where I'm going to get good profits. When we do channel analysis, we have to consider any legislation, any taxes, or any other regulations that may influence the strategy for future. If I'm providing or distributing my products through an export agent, I have to ensure that the export agent has full knowledge about legislation, about the taxes, about the compliances of that area. If I'm sending my goods, I should know that, what are the special taxes which need I'm catering for. Are there any compliance forms that I have to fill? So for that, I need to do a proper channel analysis, and that analysis will take care of all this, right? So why is channels a strategy driver for us? It's a strategic driver for us because it helps us to present our products and services in front of our end consumer, right? The way we do it differently from our customer makes this specific channels as a strategic driver. The next one we are talking about, the strategic driver, is the competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage? Now just break those two terms, competitive My competition advantage, the advantage that I have over my competitors. Now that we have identified markets, products, services, customers, channels, our focus is clear. Now we can assess our strategic options to improve our current performance and pursue our future goals. We want to have a competitive advantage. If you remember, we studied in module 1 about Michael Porter's theory. He said that to be successful in any industry, we have to be either a low cost producer or we have to be a differentiated producer. What exactly that meant at that time? Low cost is cost leadership. When I'm producing my product or my services at a cost which is lower than my competitors, what will it do? Since I'm using lower cost, I'm getting a cost leadership. But if my cost of producing a good is low as compared to my competitor, my profits will also increase, although even though I'm selling in the same market share. Right? To get more market share, if I'm doing the cost leadership, I'll be in a position to offer more discounts to my customers so that my customers switch over to me from my competitors. So for I have achieved, need to have the cost leadership. The second one is the differentiation. Either I'm producing a totally differentiated product, a totally unique product from what my competitor is offering. My product is unique, my product quality is better, or my product is more reliable, something which is different from my competitor. Of course, the customer will come to me because my product is better, right? My product is differentiated. And the third technique that we'll be understanding in this is the focus advantage. When we are focusing on a single segment, when we are focusing on a particular set of customers in a particular market. So we'll be studying more about focus strategy in our next slides. Here we'll be talking about differentiation. We already know the concept that differentiated product means a product which is unique, a product which is distinct, which is better than my customers, and so that the customers which my competitor is having, they also come to me, and the customers which I am having right now, they do not consider alternatives. The product should have unique selling proposition, which means the customer's needs are met completely and fully by my product, right? And my competitors are unable to compete for that product. So there are 9 techniques that we'll be using for differentiation. The first one is product quality, right? Product performance, standards, durability, features, image. For example, clothing by a reputed brand versus the street fashion. There is a lot of difference in product quality. So I'm making a superior product in terms of quality. The second one is product reliability, something on which I can rely on. You can consider the example of McDonald's in this category, right? The taste is almost similar in whichever country you go to. Just, there is a 19-20 difference. I can rely on McDonald's even if I'm not able to find any other food items nearby. I know I can go to McDonald's and get a similar taste which I'm used to. So that is a product reliability. The next technique that we use is product innovation. Create interest in the product. For example, the shipping containers, right? When they were invented, what was the innovation? What was the purpose that they were solving? Now we can export large quantities, we can transport large quantities of product in one box. So that was the innovation, something new. I'm bringing some new product. I'm bringing some unique feature in my product, right? So my product is becoming unique. The next one is product range, offering a wide range of products, and thereby a customer can go to single provider for different range of products. For example, all kinds of supermarkets, because you can find all kinds of products there. So product range. I have made my supermarket unique. I have made my supermarket differentiated from other supermarkets, right? The next one is service levels. I'm giving good service levels. I'm providing better services as compared to my competitors. Enhanced product features, for example, the smart TV. What are they doing? They are continuously changing their product features. They've added wireless capability, or they have added universal search. They've added media players. They've added apps. They have added Netflix and YouTube, and they keep on adding more features to your product. So you don't feel like switching your product. Your product becomes unique in that case, right? The next one is brand name. Initially, um, the brand initiate differentiation based on particular aspect of a product, right? But later on, it becomes goodwill. It becomes a trademark. It becomes a unique feature. My brand is better than your brand. Why? Because it's it has worked through the years. It has made its own mark. It has made its own goodwill. Also remember, customers can accept home brands for a cheaper price also, even if it is of a bit low quality, right? The general customer can do that. The next one is good distribution channel, an exclusive store, an exclusive distributor, an exclusive distribution channel. For example, we can quote the example of Zara here. They have their own exclusive stores. Then flexibility means that organization can offer customized products. There are customizable options over a broad range of products. They can customize the products. So differentiation strategy. So what exactly is differentiation strategy? I am making my product differentiated or unique as compared to my competitor. That is differentiation. The next we are going to talk about is, we'll continue with the differentiation to, because as we said that differentiation, one of the technique is innovation. An organization needs to have a creative environment. It should be nurturing. It should be competitive as well at the same time. Organization needs to have resources, capabilities to collaborate with others so that they can go get those resources if they don't already have it. And how does it come? It comes with a strong and creative leadership so that they can have good ideas, they can have flexible mode of working. They should have appropriate reward system, recognition, autonomy to my employees, motivation to my employees. So all this is part of differentiation technique. The next, we already said that the cost, low cost or cost leadership. The benefits for an organization with the lowest cost in the industry is high profit margins or maybe higher market share, right? In any other case, this strategy improves the competitive position of the organization. When do organizations adopt this? Generally in the mature stage of industry life cycle. Why? Because the market is low, the market is already in the mature stage, the competitors are competing for the market share. So adopting a low cost strategy helps the organization to get that sustainable competitive advantage. Because of my low cost, my organization is in a position to absorb the price reduction, to absorb the market margin pressure. What are the techniques involved? We'll just quickly go through them. Economies of scale. When my production increases, my fixed cost becomes lower, and hence the overall unit cost decreases. Right? I'm producing in large quantities. My cost is becoming low, so I can offer more discounts to my customers. My customers will not go anywhere. The second one is experience or the learning curve. When I get more experience, as and when my learning curve is on higher side, I know earlier I used to take 2 hours to complete a product, to finish a product. Now I take only half an hour because of experience, right? My production cost will automatically come down. The next one is technology advantage. The example given in the module is about Rio Tinto, which has a large iron ore mining operations, and they introduced world's first automated heavy haul rail network. Because of that, the probability of accidents reduced. The it started optimizing the journey, and hence the production cost decreased. So we have adopted the technology and we have reduced our price. The next one is no frills product. Give only whatever is needed. No customer wants anything extra. No extra packaging, no extra complex features. An example of this is home brand. For example, Amazon has a home brand by the name of Generic, right? The product is giving only that much fulfillment for what it is required. The next one is simple product design, cost control, right? The next feature is again the location advantage. Inexpensive premises offer great cost advantage. For example, the distribution of process is made easier if I set my workshop right next to my factory, right next to the site where the resources are available, right? Setting your manufacturing in places in countries where the production cost is less. Then again, the next one is product innovation. This is the same, which it was there in differentiation also. Identify, but here there we talked about product innovation. Here we are talking about identifying cheaper ways to make a product or service. Again, it involves technology, for example, automating the stages of production. The next one is purchasing cheap assets. An example could be buying my production assets at distress sale. The last one is using the government subsidy. Of course, governments are key to attract jobs to their communities. So, what do governments do? They offer packages for organizations who are interested in expansion but flexible about location. If the government is giving me subsidy, maybe I'll move to XYZ location because I want to expand. They say only if you come to XYZ location, you will be getting the subsidy. So it's okay. Let me go there. Let me save my costs. I'm flexible on my location, but I'm interested in expansion. So that is low cost leadership. And these are the 10 techniques that we adopt for low cost. And the last but not the least, the third strategy of competitive advantage is the focus strategy. An organization pursuing a focused strategy aims to find a small product or small market segment within a particular set of significantly different customer segments, and to focus only on that area rather than competing or considering the whole of industry. A very classic example of this is the Smiggle brand. Smiggle is a stationery retailer, but it's not for the office goers, right? It's not for the companies. They are not targeting the companies. They are targeting the children. They are targeting the children's stationery. They are producing the children's stationery, interesting forms, different innovative ways. So their focus market segment is children. What are the techniques that they use? Narrow product line, only for meeting the special customer requirement. I am making a notebook very attractive with all those cartoons and prints and little stars and everything. Who is my target customer? Little children. Maybe an office goer, maybe a professional would not like to buy that diary or that notebook. So here the companies focus only on small customer segment, maybe for two reasons: for producing very high-end goods and catering to only those that specific segment of customers. Right? The example could be high-end goods. Maybe I'm producing only for ultra-rich people. And another example could be the skincare products. I'm producing goods only for aging population. Right? That's the first one. I'm targeting the specific customer segment. The next one is I'm targeting a specific geographic segment. For example, seasonal clothing. You will not see winter clothes being sold in warm places, humid places like Singapore. Or you will find the gumboots, the market for gumboots, the shops for gumboots only near the areas where there is snowfall. So this technique is targeting a particular geographic segment. The last one which they use is the focused functional capability, which means an organization is focusing on its unique production capability, its own research capability, its own distribution channels, right? So that's focused functional capability. So this is the last technique of the competitive advantage, which is focus. Competitive advantage has three techniques: differentiation, low cost, and focus. Making unique product, differentiation, making a product at a lower cost so that they can have the cost leadership. That is the low cost strategy. The third one is focus strategy. I'm focusing only on a particular market segment. So that is the focus strategy. So if we just recall what all we have done right now is we talked about strategic drivers, which was the first step of our assessing the current performance. What is strategic drivers? What differentiates us from our customers? In that, we talked about industry and market, we talked about products and services, we talked about customers, we talked about channels, and we talked about competitive advantage. Right? All these things are differentiating us from our competitors, who we are, our differentiation from the other competitors. In the next video, I'll be talking about the operational drivers. What is it that I do? Operation. What is the operation? What is the way of working that I do, which makes me better than my competitors? How I work vis-a-vis how my competitor works. So we'll talking about the operational drivers in our next video. I hope and I expect that all of you must have found some value in this video. Do let me know through your comments if you need any other suggestion. We'll be waiting to meet you soon in our next video. Thank you.